goddamn G-Lord. We'd like to thank the good goddamn G-Lord. 100 good goddamn G-Lord. G-Lord, 100 Jesus. Change our good goddamn G-Lord. 100. We'd like to thank the good goddamn G-Lord. 100 Jesus. Change our heart from Toronto, Ontario.
What up, Mike? Toronto. VK on the beat. Check. I'm in Toronto, where you wanna get the city love. I'm from Toronto, where you wanna get the city love. I'm in Toronto, like we wanna get the city love. My city love me back for my city love.
Welcome to episode 1668 of Toronto Mic'd, proudly brought to you by Great Lakes Brewery, a fiercely independent craft brewery who believes in supporting communities, good times, and brewing amazing beer. Order online for free local home delivery in the GTA. Palma Pasta. Enjoy the taste of fresh, homemade Italian pasta and entrees from Palma Pasta in Mississauga and Oakville. Yes, we are open, an award-winning podcast hosted by FOTM Al Grego. Silverwax.ca. Use promo code TorontoMike10 at checkout and save 10%. RecycleMyElectronics.ca. Committing to our planet's future means properly recycling our electronics of the past. Building Toronto Skyline, a podcast and book from Nick Iones, sponsored by Fusion Corp Construction Management Inc. and Ridley Funeral Home, pillars of the community since 1921. Joining me today, returning to Toronto Mic'd, it's Ian Blurton.
Hey.
How long has it been, Ian, since you shaved that beard? You never know what you're going to get asked right off the top.
I'd say probably 20 years. Maybe,
20 years. Okay,
like
and there's no itchiness, obviously.
No.
Because I try once in a while. Like I can't grow a nice beard like you, but once in a while I think, oh, let me try to be like Ian Blurton and let me grow my beard. And
Don't do that.
Day 5 or 6, my neck it's so itchy. I'm like, forget it. I'm going to.
Well,
shave
you get
this off.
past the point that you get past the itchy point, and then it's just whatever.
You're saying I give up too easily.
You're giving up too easily.
Okay, so 20 years ago. Wow. You know what? It saves you in blades, right?
I've bought a home because I haven't.
Well, blades are expensive.
Blades are expensive, and electric razors are hard to plug in Europe.
And they're not. You got to buy it. Yeah, one of those adapters. Okay, so right off the top, though, that was off the top. But now I want to say happy birthday to my son, Jarvis. Today, he is 11 years old.
Amazing.
So now time to record the special birthday greeting to Jarvis from Ian Blurton.
Happy birthday. Is it Jarvis or Jervis?
Jarvis.
Happy birthday, Jarvis.
There you go. He's going to hear this.
Congratulations on 11.
Yeah, 11. 11 was always my favorite number because I liked George Bell on the Toronto Blue Jays.
Oh.
So George Bell, who, if I just quickly find this, I can play this.
Hi, I'm George Bell. You listen to Toronto Mike.
That was a dream come true. Did you know, here's a fun fact for you, Ian. Can't wait to get into it with you, and I'm really glad to see you again. This is the first time in the history of this podcast, and your episode number 1668. This is the first time I've ever recorded on April 9th. Don't you think that's interesting?
That's weird.
So I was trying to figure out why. Like, it's not like I block it for my kid's birthday because he's in school, but I think maybe it's because often April 9 falls in the middle of like that 4-day, like you got like Good Friday is a day off, and then you got the weekend, and then Easter Monday, the kids don't go to school. So I feel like maybe it got blocked because of that.
Oh, interesting. Well, I'm honored to be the first April 9th.
So you better be good, Ian, okay?
I'll try.
The only dates now, see, I did this homework so I could present it. The only dates that remain empty in the archives, and I've never recorded on the following dates. My birthday, I've never recorded on my birthday, although I recorded with Lowest of the Low live at Great Lakes Brewery. It was a TMLX event in 2019, and I didn't really do an episode, but I did record, and I did put it in the Toronto Mic'd feed, so that might mean I did record.
I think that counts.
It counts?
Yeah, I think that counts, actually.
You friendly with Ron Hawkins and the guys from Lowest of the Low?
Known those guys forever.
You guys kind of run around the same circles.
I don't know about the same circles, but definitely we've run into the same squares.
Okay, lots of mutual respect there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I have respect for any band that, goes and keeps going. So.
Okay. Well, look.
Well, as long as they're not,
There's some, like, what about Boot Sauce?
Oh my God. Wow. That was unexpected. I guess I have respect for them. I did actually get into a fight with them once. There was a I magazine, not the, I think it was I. They used to have this guest reviewers. So they'd have like 5 records and then 5 reviewers. And the Boot Sauce record was in there. And I didn't give it a bad review, but somebody else gave it a bad review. And the family, Sonny Greenwich's family, thought it was me. And the mom came to the next Change of Heart show. And there was like a kerfuffle. And I was like, it wasn't me.
That's wild, because the reason I picked on them is because many a great Canadian musician has sat in this basement and said, fuck Boot Sauce.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? I'm trying to stir up some shit. In
Yeah,
the
you are
Canadian
stirring up
cave.
some shit quickly.
You know what? I haven't even, so you and I agree, and thank you to Andy for pointing this out, that my birthday doesn't count. So here are the only 4 days left, okay, that I have never recorded on. I've never recorded on Christmas Day. I've never recorded on Boxing Day. I've never recorded on New Year's Eve, and I've never recorded on New Year's Day. That's it, Ian. Now that I'm recording with you.
That's amazing.
Isn't that wild? Okay.
Wow. That is actually really incredible.
Do you remember your Toronto Mike debut?
Of course. Yes. Yeah. It's yeah.
Is it a fond memory?
It's a very fond memory. Yeah. Sitting out in the back
there?
Yeah, sitting out in the backyard, and I remember, was there a lot of birds?
Yeah, there was
I feel
birds.
like there was a lot of birds. Yeah.
You're making me miss the backyard episodes. Maybe the summer of 2025, I bring back the backyard episode.
I think it was really nice. It was very relaxed for an interview,
I'm sold. Like I am gonna do this. I feel like it's a pain in the ass because you got to tear it down and build it up, and then and reverse that. But I think there is something to that on a nice day, anyways, when you're out there and it's relaxed and the bird song. I think I will bring back some backyard episodes in 2025. So this was July 2022.
Oh yeah,
when you were in the backyard.
Yeah,
so
that
a
makes
few
sense.
years now. It was episode 1088, and here's what I wrote. I wrote, Mike is joined in the backyard by musician Ian Blurton as they talk Change of Heart, Blurtonia, Future Now, and so much more. We went for like 90 minutes. So this episode, I'm actually, if it's okay with you, I'm going to mainly, with a few questions that'll take us off track, but I will mainly focus on Change of Heart, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, of course, whatever you want.
Okay, I'm the boss around here, right?
Yeah, you're the boss.
To get out the non-Change of Heart questions out of the way, Todd B wants to know if there's any plans to get the albums you released under the name Blurtonia on Bandcamp.
Oh,
Todd B wants to know.
Todd, I don't know. Yeah, I could probably wing that.
Okay, you might do that for Todd.
I might do that for Todd, yeah.
Okay, Todd, you came to the right place. Okay, so I kind of teased this before we press record, but you're the 3rd guest in a row. So this is only Wednesday. I had a guest Monday, Tuesday, and now you're here Wednesday. And as far as I know, all 3 of you, particularly you, by the way, contributed to Smile. So can you please remind me, what was Glenn Milcham's contribution to Smile?
Oh boy, Glenn really. Okay, well, the sort of the origin of Smile was that our drummer left the band, and we had all these songs, and we sort of looked at each other and we were like, let's just figure out a way to record all these songs, and we'll write a whole bunch of extra ones. And this was like 3-month sort of period, and write a bunch of extra ones and make this a sprawling double album, which was kind of crazy. And Glenn, who was my neighbor at the time, offered to play drums on it and came in and just absolutely killed it. I think we only played 2 shows before we were recorded. And, I mean, the one thing about playing with Glenn is like he's, you can count on him. And he's just always there, and he's always present, and does the best he can do, and he's an incredible drummer.
He's a great drummer.
Yeah.
So does he leave you basically to join Blue Rodeo? Because the timing kind of matches up.
He does, and in fact, unless I'm mistaken, I believe one of the Blue Rodeo members came into the studio while we were recording Smile and sort of offered him that gig.
It's got to be Jim Cuddy.
I believe it was Greg.
Was it a handsome? Is it Greg? Okay.
I think it was Greg.
Okay. Very, very interesting.
I mean, my memory isn't great as it used to be.
Well, then get the hell out of here, Ian. I got questions. I need a good memory. So it's Ron Duffy leaves, basically, and
Yes,
Glenn
Ron
Milcham,
leaves.
and then you record Smile. So I'm going to get back to Smile. Since you were last here, Michael Philip Voyevoda has made his Toronto Mike debut.
Amazing.
I know. He's been involved in some of the greatest Canadian, in my opinion anyways, the greatest Canadian albums of all time. Unbelievable. And he produced Smile.
Yes, he did. With a horrible tooth problem that if I remember correctly, and he was taking lots of pain medication.
But, you know, that maybe that's why it's so good. But he also, famously, he produces Bare Naked Ladies Gordon. And there was a question that came in from Brent Arnold, who says, I remember watching Change of Heart open for Bare Naked Ladies at Massey Hall. I think they were wearing dresses. Is this accurate? Is he right?
Yes. I I had been talking to Tyler, drummer from Bare
Tyler
Naked
Stewart,
Ladies.
fellow
Yeah.
FOTM.
Yeah, and I was like, the only place we haven't played is Massey Hall, or one of them. Maybe we hadn't played the concert hall by then, but no, we hadn't actually. And lo and behold, a couple weeks later, they put us on the bill, or whatever it was, a couple months, and
Wow.
yes, we were wearing dresses.
Okay, but it's wild. I don't know why. It just feels wild to think that Change of Heart would play Massey Hall. Like you just think, oh, that's land of Gordon Lightfoot and Blue Rodeo, but there's Change of Heart. Very cool.
And I mean, I totally understand why they did this, because they had a big stage show, and they didn't want to reveal it before the show. There was a curtain across the front of the stage, and so basically we had like a couple of feet and like just the lip of the stage and so we had to set up in a line, and it was interesting to say the least, because I don't think we ever really did that.
All right, so I mentioned there was another guest who was on Smiles. So yeah, Glenn Milcham, obviously. But then the very next day, which is only yesterday, Gil Moore from Triumph.
Oh my God. Yes, he is on Smile.
Okay, so I kind of shooting myself right now, because I meant to pull a damn clip of this, and I didn't, because what an idiot I am. But basically, I set it up because I thought it was a wild coincidence, because this is all unrelated, I didn't plan a Smile week on Toronto Mike.
Smile Week on.
I would do that though. That sounds like I would do that. Okay, but so coincidentally, Glenn was coming over anyways, because he had heard Greg Keeler on Toronto Mike, and then we worked out he would come by, and he was amazing. Do you plan to cry on this? Because there's a camera on you. Glenn does a great job.
I'm crying right now.
Okay, in the inside. Glenn does a great, and I love it, because Glenn just sits there and he feels, and he's not ashamed or too proud, or, he just lets his feels out, and it's so authentic. Like, and I realize, this is what I'm craving. It's not fake tears. It's real. It's genuine. It was so wonderful to witness. Mm-hmm. So if you want to cry, like, I'll pinch you really.
Okay.
Oh, shout out to Bare Naked Ladies. Pinch me. Okay. All right. But Gil Moore is credited with playing the gongs.
Yes.
And then I went to Jason Schneider before Gil was on, and I said, hey, what song on Smile is Gil Moore on? And Jason said, I don't know, the one with gongs on it. And then I actually thought, okay, well, I would pull it and play it for him. But then I just asked him straight out, Gil, do you remember contributing to Change of Heart Smile? And he has zero recollection of it. Like, he had no idea. No idea. So you're here now, and I'm actually wondering.
That is amazing.
Yeah, he has no. Actually, here it is. I have it here. Okay, so I do have this clip. So I pulled it and put it on my YouTube channel, and I'm going to now. I found it. This is an exciting moment. Let's listen to that moment on Toronto Mic'd yesterday. Tomorrow, sitting in that chair is Ian Blurton, because Change of Heart has a new album. And here's the fun fact, mind blow for you, and I think you might know where it's going. But Glenn Milcham, obviously Ian Blurton, and yourself, you all played on Change of Heart's classic album Smile. You're credited with playing the gong on this album. Do you remember playing on Change of Heart's Smile in 1992?
Stumped.
I don't.
See, that's wild. So if you're credited as playing the gong, and then I asked Jason Schneider, like, what track is he playing the gong? And Jason's like, whatever track has gong on it. Okay, so I'll be asking Ian tomorrow, but you don't have any memory of contributing your gong playing to Smile.
No, but let's face it. Gong is essential, and
You gotta have more gong.
you got to have more gong. I mean, that's a certainty.
There you go, Ian.
That's amazing.
So what do you remember? I hope you remember. What was Gilmore from Triumph's contribution to Smile?
It was literally, we were like, we need a gong in this part of the song, and who better to play the gong than Gilmore of Triumph?
Right.
And somehow, I think it was Michael got a hold of somebody at Metalworks, and they were like, can you set up a gong and get Gil to hit it 5 times or 10 times or whatever, and then we'll pick the best one and we'll fly it in. And so we got this tape back, and I'm pretty sure he's talking on there too. So
because I was gonna say they probably had some intern hit the fucking gong, and they sent it and said,
no. Okay. They would no.
See,
rock and roll doesn't do that.
Rock and roll would never lie like that. Okay, so Gilmore hits a gong. What song is it?
I couldn't even tell you actually at this point.
So now Jason doesn't feel so bad because he couldn't tell me either. No. Okay, so there we are. Finally, I think this is the purpose of Toronto Mike. Just let's figure out. Was Gilmore on Smile? It's such a wild
No,
credit.
he's definitely on Smile. I'm almost 100%. Is that gong hit okay? Do you want another? There's some of that in between the gongs.
But you're not witnessing him hitting the gong.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Okay, so it's possible that an intern hit that gong.
Don't ruin.
Let's update Discogs or whatever. Let's get this right, okay? We're the truthers here, the gong truthers, okay? So fuck boot sauce. The gong.
Hey, whoa! I didn't say that.
No, you were very kind, and
in fact, John Lally, who was the drummer, or at least one of the drummers in Boot Sauce, he's a very old friend, and I still see him. And
well, when I say fuck boot sauce, I hope they realize my tongue is in my cheek. I've never met the guys, and I would totally have them on Toronto Mike. Then I might even like them. Who knows, right? I literally I've heard it from people like Lois to the Low and Art Bergman.
Oh well, Art did that tour with them where they wouldn't let him.
They made him. They kicked him out, and that's when apparently not that. So Lois to the Low were driving on the same highway the other way, and they saw Art on the side of the road hitchhiking or something, and that's when they wrote the song. Art. What's an expression with art in it? What's the Lois the Low song of Art? But they wrote a song about him.
Oh wow!
And so these stories are kind of.
I do believe that tour bankrupted Call the Office the first time it went under as well. I might be mistaken on that, but I think that that was Sons of Freedom, Boot Sauce. Art Bergman.
Sons of Freedom, yep.
And one other band, and the guarantee was insane, and it didn't do well, and I believe Call the Office shut down initially the first time.
Okay, well, that'll do it. By the way, Sons of Freedom is a band. I hear that. I feel I missed. I don't think CFNY played them or something. I feel like I was getting all my music for a period of time from 102.1 and Much Music. And there was no Sons of Freedom.
There was a Much video for sure.
Do you remember the name of the song?
I feel like it might have been Gump, or was that the album title? Okay, that was the second album. I'm a huge fan of the first album, and in fact, Change of Heart and Sons of Freedom did a Brave New Waves live simulcast from Club Soda in Montreal, and they were spectacular that night.
Okay. Well, Brent Bambury, I got to find out if he's got that. I've got the name of the song, by the way. It's Life Imitates Art.
Oh, right.
So thank you, VP. My brain isn't what it used to be here. I've had brain damage since I last saw you. Okay, so now we're going to go back, and I'm going to be very transparent here. I plan to play at least parts of 4 old Change of Heart songs and at least 3 new songs. Okay, so you're comfortable, Ian?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. I'm going to be sending you home with fresh craft beer from Great Lakes Brewery.
Exciting.
And if you don't drink the craft beer yourself, I know you have somebody in the band or somebody who will enjoy it.
I have somebody in the apartment who will drink it,
okay, good. And it's fresh, it's delicious, and they're going to host us, and Ian, you're invited, June 26th from 6 to 9 p.m. Free event at Great Lakes Brewery here in Southern Etobicoke. And Palma Pasta is going to feed us. And the good news for you, Ian, is that Palma Pasta sent over a lasagna. So you can bring home a frozen lasagna.
Amazing.
Did you get this when you were in the backyard?
I did.
Okay. So you know how it goes. You're going to get more today, though. And I'm doing this now because we're going to dive in and cook with gas here. So fresh craft beer, Palma Pasta lasagna. Right after you, I'm recording a new episode of Life's Undertaking with Brad Jones from Ridley Funeral Home. And he sent over a measuring tape for you. So shout out to Ridley Funeral Home.
And in fact, you sent me home with one of these last time, and I measure the microphone position from the snare to the mics with this thing all the time.
I'm so honored.
Yeah.
Like that to me is wonderful.
Gets used all the time.
Okay, I feel like I'm a part of Canadian rock history. Finally, I did it.
You are.
That's why I am. Okay, I need that on, I need to record that. Okay. Yeah. So I want to let the world know that season 8 of Yes We Are Open, which is an award-winning podcast from Moneris, hosted by fellow rock star Al Grego. He's played some TMLX events. They're dropping now, and the first episode is Al Grego going to Regina, Saskatchewan. You've been to Regina, right?
Oh.
Many times.
Yeah.
What's the name of the venue there that you played?
Oh, actually, well, I mean, the Exchange was the last time I played there, but, you know, like the Schnitzel House. I mean, you want to go all the way back. Schnitzel House, which became the venue, I think, which became the Exchange. Became... Oh, I don't know. Lots of places. And there used to be shows at the university that were always really good too.
Okay, well, Al was visiting Kevin Toth, who's the president of Prairie Flying Service, and they delved into the storied history and rich legacy of the company, which began in 1946, founded by 4 World War II pilots. So you got to hear that story. Prairie, that's a tough sentence to say. Prairie Flying Service, and the rest of season 8 is going to drop, and you're going to listen to it on your new wireless speaker from Moneris. That's for you, Ian.
Oh, wow.
And I'm not done yet. I'm going to save the rest for later because I need you to share with me the origin story of Change of Heart. So pretend this is your first time. We're going to do a deep dive into Change of Heart here. Who's in the band? Why Change of Heart came to be? Give me the goods way back when.
Okay. So we're looking at 1982.
That's so far. I think a lot of people would bet the band was formed later than that.
Yes. And in fact, I was on a panel once at, I think it was North by, and a fellow musician, they were like, oh, give me, a little bit of your origin story. And I was like, well, in 1982, we started releasing cassettes. And he was like, no, you guys didn't form in 82. I'm pretty sure you formed in 88. And I'm like, I think I know when the band was formed.
That's funny. That's funny.
So yeah, 1982, Rob moves in down the street. Rob Taylor, who's the bass player, original bass player, a lyricist. He did the artwork, moves in down the street. I used to live on Windermere at Bloor there. And
my kid plays soccer at Rennie Park.
Oh, well, there you go. That's, yeah. So Rob moves in, and he's got a buddy named Scratch, who plays guitar, and I'm still playing drums at that point. And we start this little jamming thing, and then Scratch sort of moves into management, and Rob and I continue the band, and we try and find people, and I start playing guitar, and we try and find singers, and we can't find a singer, so I start singing, and Scratch becomes our manager. We go through a couple of drummers, and then we end up with Ron Duffy, and playing drums, and Mike Armstrong playing percussion.
He's got strong arms.
Got strong arms, incredibly great presence, and we just started gigging. I guess it took a couple of years for the lineup to kind of solidify, but around 84, I guess, we really started going.
So I want to ask you about some of the inspirations for Change of Heart at the time. Can you shout some out? And then I'm hoping you'll talk about L'Étranger because Charlie Angus is making a lot of noise lately as as a member of the Resistance.
Wonderful noise.
I think it all started in this basement, Ian. Taking full fucking credit for that. Okay, he comes by, it all started. But and of course Andrew Cash also
Andrew
was
Cash, who we both, so like we're this little baby band. I'm like, I have to get a note to play shows because I'm 16, and I have to show the note, like to the bartender and stuff.
Rob Bruce had to do that with spoons.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. But yeah, bands like L'Étranger have us opening for them. Chalk Circle.
Shout out to Chris Tate.
Sturm Group. Directive 17, which is Andy Mays, Skydiggers. So we're just sort of doing that whole post-punk scene. And then we put out a record in 86.
Okay, I'm gonna play our first song here. But later, when Andrew Cash goes solo and he has a lot of success with Boomtown, who do you think was banging on the drums for Boomtown?
Mr. Glenn Milcham.
I'm telling you.
Well, it even goes deeper than that because the guy who replaced Glenn in that band was Randy Curnew, and Randy Curnew ended up being the drummer in Come On.
Come On.
So it's a small,
Well, that's what I'm trying to do. Connect all these dots.
Yes.
Okay, so you're helping me fill in some cracks here today. Keep the fun facts and mind blows coming, okay?
Okay.
Here's where we begin our journey. You ready, Ian?
I am.
I guess I'm supposed to talk this up and hit the post. That's why I never worked in radio.
Like to believe it's just a day that is making and breaking. Silently hoping I could tell you it would be a different sort of hell without me. Could you make your hell without me? Was that thunder or backfire? Was she really lonely or just singing a song? Was that thunder or backfire? Was she really lonely or just singing a song?
Is it fair to say, Mr. Blurton, that this is the first single that, the great unwashed, the normies like me discover, hey, Change of Heart. Wow.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, either this or Mystery from the previous record would be, maybe the first two kind of things.
So that would be the previous record, 1987's Slow Dance.
Yes.
And this song, of course, Pat's Decline. This is from Soapbox, 1989.
Mm-hmm.
But you get on Much Music with Pat's Decline.
There's no video for Pat's Decline if I remember correctly.
Well, you would know. You're my authority here. Okay. So Pat's Decline, no Much Music exposure?
No. It was mostly, honestly, it was like Brave New Waves, CKLN, college radio. A few places in the U.S. Like there was a magazine called The Big Takeover that's still going that gave us a great review very early on.
Right. Yeah, that guy came on my show last year.
Jack Rabbit?
Jack Rabbit, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Exactly. It was
Amazing.
very cool. Yeah, he loves Canadian music.
Yeah. He's got good taste.
He's got good taste. He likes Change of Heart. Come on, you know that. I'm telling you, I don't know if there's maybe I gotta share this with Brent Bambury, maybe you'll speak more to how Brave New Waves, what it meant to Canadians seeking cool new music back in the pre-internet days. But I'm gonna say I don't think anyone's celebrating Change of Heart like yours truly. Okay, if there's ever a Change of Heart Hall of Fame,
yeah,
I want in.
Okay,
I want a first ballot. I want in. Tell me, what it was like. I mean, I was there, but pre-internet. You know, here in Toronto, we did have CFNY playing some cool new tracks. But how important was
the
Brave New
original?
Waves?
The original CFNY was like, wow. I mean, that's the first place I ever heard Hawkwind. They used to play like Cure, Faith all the time. But Brave New Waves is because it was national and also spilling into the U.S. and I'm sure other places in the world as well. It was just amazing. Like, it made such a difference. It was, you know, it was our John Peel sort of, you know, in a lot of ways, like, you know, even with the sessions and things like that. We were lucky to do 2 of them. And they were so positive. And so, I mean, we were like nervous little kids. Sure. And they were just so positive about what we were doing. And it was, you know, when you're a young band, you need all those little boosts to help you, you know, move up, even just musically. And to have somebody offering a step on a ladder like that was, you know, it's something I'll never forget, really.
Now back to CFNY now. Do you remember the shows or the personalities at CFNY that you particularly listened to?
Well, Marsden is the one I, you know, that's the one I remember.
Well, David Marsden is the basically the man behind the spirit of radio.
Yes,
absolutely.
And you know, I think that's the closest thing that we got to like freeform FM radio. You know, like what was happening in the mid to late '60s in, you know, San Francisco. What's his name? Tom Donahue, I think his name is. The father of freeform radio. You know, so just like having your mind blown like that, just by turning on a radio, is an incredible thing. It's one thing to like take a chance on a record and, you know, put it on and have your mind blown, but just be sitting at the radio going like, wow. You know, and I was the kind of kid that had like, you know, the AM radio under my pillow and the Chum AM, you know, the top 30, you know, the countdowns that I used to cut out.
The Chum 30, absolutely.
Yeah, all that stuff. So
did you have if we go pre-CFNY there, did you have a favorite Chum jock?
Wow, I couldn't even tell you a Chum jock, but I just remember thinking like the first time I ever heard Roxy music was on Chum AM, and it was Love Is the Drug, and I'm just like thinking about that now. I'm like, what the hell? Like Roxy music were on AM radio in
Well, that's
Canada.
shocking to hear it because you'd think it would be on Chum FM, right? But
Yeah.
you wouldn't think it would make top 40 radio.
No, but there it is, and yeah.
Let this brew in the background here because I don't want to talk over this great song.
Why not? Audiences have been doing it for 40 years.
There's no one home.
I'm going to be seeing you later this month at
Are you?
the garage.
Oh, amazing.
I picked up a ticket. You kidding me?
And if I could find,
It's worth the bike ride to Geary.
I would know all the reasons why. I'd reach out to kiss, but I read your breath, your jealous thought. You think I drop masks over you, that you could be any one of a crowd. Truth is, I put a crown much more than words over your head. Truth is, I wanna be the wind and draw the day from your hair. There you go, standing alone. Do you find there's no one home? And if I could tell you, if I could find, I would know all the reasons why.
There you go, Ian.
There you go.
Here we are, finally, to Smile. So we talked earlier, the guy drumming, Glenn Milcham. FOTM Glenn Milcham. Let me be correct about this right now. Who else is in the band when you record Smile in 1992?
Oh my God, there's a lot of people. So there's Glenn, there's Rob Taylor, Mike Armstrong playing percussion, Bernard playing keyboards.
Shout out to Bernard Meza because
Yes.
since your visit, he's been down here and we had a
Yes.
fantastic chat.
Ann Bourne, she's playing cello. Catherine Rose on backup vocals. Oh man, John Bora on backup vocals.
Love John Boyer. That's two Neon Rome members that I think you've shouted out here.
Yes.
Bernard was in the Neon Rome.
Ron Anistich played guitar on a couple of songs on that record. Okay. Michael White and Ernie Toller on horns. Boy, I can't even.
This is a collective.
Yeah, it was. It was like as soon as we decided, like, oh, we're not like a band. We're just going to make this massive record. A lot of people got brought in, and it really made it. Because it's all live too. Like, I don't know if you know that or not, but it's like there's no overdubs on that record. It's literally live.
Geez, yeah, drop the science with defiance here, Ian. I need all these fun facts. I'm collecting.
Well, actually, and in that song, I say breast. I'm supposed to say breath, and I said breast, and it was the best take. And we were like, we'll just leave it.
Love it. Well, that's punk. Okay.
Yeah.
So, is it true that you were able to make this album for $5,000?
$3,000.
Okay, you know what? I got to get Rosie Gray T.O. involved here to correct this. $3,000.
Yeah. And that's why there's no overdubs and it's all live off the floor. And so if there was an overdub that was needed, we would just have somebody come in and play that one part. Like, for example, Ron, who plays guitar on a couple songs,
right?
He doesn't play on the whole song. He only comes in when required.
It's a great album. Have I told you that? It's great. Like, I've been listening to it again, knowing you're coming in. I've been listening to it again.
It was a really fun record to make. Yeah.
It's a cool album. Okay, it's $3,000. You got your money's worth. That's fantastic.
Well, the label got their money's worth, especially because we never got paid a cent for it. So.
Well, that's the real talk, right? Like, I feel like maybe we spent a moment on that. I think people think, oh, I was grooving to Smile. They think Ian is, riding a top-of-the-line bicycle. He must be able to afford a top-of-the-line bicycle. But what do you mean you didn't, like, there's no money?
Well, Cargo sort of went under, and they moved their operations more or less to the U.S. and England. And Cargo Canada, which was the label, went out of business. And, I just never got anything.
Well, that sucks, man. That sucks. But at least Andrew Scott, who's in the calendars, I want the listenership to know, I got 75% of Sloan or FOTMs. The holdout is Andrew Scott, but he is in the calendar. So I think in May or maybe later this month, Andrew Scott's going to drop by.
Right on.
And he's wearing a Change of Heart t-shirt.
Yes, he is.
In Underwhelmed.
Yes.
And we talked last time you were on, I think I spent way too much time on this, but I find it amazing that Glenn Milcham's wearing a Change of Heart t-shirt in Rain Down on Me.
Right.
And Stephen Page in the video for Brian Wilson, which, let's face it, that is the most Stephen Page of the Bare Naked Ladies songs, is Brian Wilson.
Yes.
That's what I think. And he, you said CKLN. He was playing that on CKLN way back in the day. Maybe I'll say now, are you part of this tribute to Bookie where
I'm in the house band? I'm in the house band.
You're in the house band.
Yeah.
Okay, I just got like an email about this yesterday, I think it was. And I got to get the right date. I want to just tell the people listening that it's
May
called
9th.
It is May 9th. Yes. Okay, at the Garrison. So I just want to tell the listenership that Dave Bookman, Let's Get Friendship Right, the second annual tribute show is at the Garrison May 9th with artists covering the Tragically Hip. So that sounds cool.
Yeah.
So, and you're going to be part of the house band.
Yeah, I've got to learn 22 hip songs in 2 weeks.
Okay. Well, you did open for the Hip.
Yes. In fact, I think they're the band I've seen the most in my life. Maybe them and Blue Rodeo.
You know what? They're both up there for me as well.
Yeah.
And you did open for Blue Rodeo.
Yes, they both bands were very kind to Change of Heart.
Good to
took
hear
us
that.
on some incredible tours. In fact, Blue Rodeo took us on this Highway 11 tour, like Kapuskasing, South Porcupine, like all these weird little small towns. And that was still, I have such great memories of that tour.
Now, lest we forget, shout out to Mike Treblecock from the Killjoys and Gene Champagne, who is now drumming for Teenage Head. You know
yes,
this?
I
It's
did know
amazing,
that.
huh?
I've seen him. Yeah.
Yeah, he gave me these drumsticks. Okay, I had so many drummers on this week.
Hot pink drumsticks.
Hot pink drumsticks from Teenage Head. You'd think one of these many drummers who drop by would. I like having something in my hand, right? I get to whatever. But this is all important stuff here. But you won the CFNY Discovery the Disc competition, and you beat out Treble Charger and Killjoys, a couple of heavyweights there. And
yes.
So you get $100,000 for that?
Yes.
And how did you spend that money?
We took $5,000 each for new gear, and most of the rest of it we bought into a studio called Chemical Sound that our friend Daryl Smith was running at the time, and sort of just like upped the ante in the whole thing. And then Sloan recorded there, and a whole bunch of bands did a lot of work there. And then Condos came in and, ruined it.
Condos do what condos do, right?
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of condos, and this is a quick sidebar to say, great condo developer, quite the segue. Nick Iones, pardon me. Nick Iones has stepped up to sponsor Toronto Mic'd, and I'm here to report that his fine podcast, Building Toronto Skyline, is going to record in 2 days on Friday an episode all about the CN Tower turning 50. So there's going to be a lot of fun facts and mind blows about the CN Tower. I personally don't. Do you have any memory of the Skyline before the CN Tower?
Oh, yeah. I specifically remember because we moved from Montreal and came in on the train. And so I have a very vivid memory of the Skyline as we came in on the train. And also I went to Runnymede Public, and that's a little bit up on a hill. And my desk overlooked like downtown Toronto. So I watched that school year. I watched the CN Tower basically go up.
My kid plays soccer in that gym every Monday.
Wow.
At Runnymede Public. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I'm going to brew this in the background while I tell everybody about recyclemyelectronics.ca, because, Ian, if you have old cables, old electronics, old devices, don't throw it in the garbage. Those chemicals end up in our landfill. Go to recyclemyelectronics.ca. Find out where you can drop that off to be properly recycled.
Please do that.
There's a house burning at the side of the road. The doors are locked and no one's home. I look in the window for all to see. The charred remains of what something can be. So you figure it out for yourself. The answer for you and no one else. Secret gasoline fuels the fire. Spark the fuse and you'll find inside a bomb fuel the fire. Burn the cage and be alive. I don't wanna know why you give in and try. If giving back's the only way I'll ever know you, I don't wanna mow you, just trip the trap and hold you.
Fucking love it, man. Seriously. 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 This is all I could I'll live in this era, man. This sounds so great.
This is good because we're actually rehearsing all these songs right now, so I'm hearing all the little things that I'm missing, so it's good.
You better be fucking perfect at the Sound Garage when I see you. And you had one date. It was Friday, April 25, and I bought my ticket, and then you added the Saturday show later.
Other way around, but yes.
Is it the other way around?
Yes. Because you don't want to sell out a Friday night and then put a week Saturday on.
Well, you would know. That's what you're here for. I'm screwing all this up. But I can tell you I have a ticket for Friday, April 25th. So if you want to pull a Rusty and shout me out, I'm there that day, okay?
Okay.
You taking notes here?
Yep. Does Rusty shout you out when you go see them?
Yeah, I saw them at Sneaky D's fairly recently, and during Empty Cell. I got a Toronto Mike shout out.
Right on.
Like Ken was awesome, yeah. Cam writes in, when you have change of heart over, that's you, Ian, please ask if they've ever considered mobilizing, promoting Winter's Over as shoulder programming for Canadians who talk about the Gandharvas every first day of spring. This is a great jam. Cam knows the score. Winter's Over.
Yes. That's that actually happened this year on the Instagram. Somebody posted that video when everyone else was posting the first day of spring.
That's funny.
And
Yeah.
in fact, the other guitar player at that hip thing on May 9th is the guitar player from that band.
I love. They had a couple of big hits. They had Downtime, which was a big jam on like CFNY, and this First Day of Spring, which holds up. I know it's reminiscent of some other acts, but I would say it's Killer CanCon from the great 90s alt rock era, and I love it, man. But the main guy, he's like a super busy scientist or a geologist or something.
I have no idea.
I wanted to do I can now disclose this for the first time here, but I had a great idea for the First Day of Spring.
Of course.
A deep dive into the song, the Gandharvas, and I was dealing with this gentleman whose name will come to me in a minute, but his brother. But he's so busy with being this super geologist, he didn't have time for me. Can you believe it?
Judd would do it.
Well, Well, then I promise my pledge is I will do that episode with Judd then. Okay? That's going to happen here.
There you go.
All right, here. So I really want to get to the new stuff. And I need to end Change of Heart and then resurrect you. This is good. Perfect for Easter now that I think
Yes.
about it. Okay? So we're going to just do a little trigger here. What album is Trigger on?
Tummy Suckle.
Yeah.
Try to follow eternity, quicksand versus time. Midnight maneuver, confusion, contract, everything is fine. Don't be mistaken, so supreme that'll hold you to the end. Don't be misguided, who is chosen when they really are your friends. Pull the trigger, find the bullet, feed the gun. Hit the target, get it started. Love is more than number one.
You did it again, Ian. Okay, Tummy Suckle is from 1994.
Sensory perception.
Don't even want to fade it down. But okay, so then you have one more album left in you until now. So you had Steel Teeth is 1997. So why in 97 does it end for Change of Heart?
I can only speak for myself, but I was just completely burnt out. I mean, it'd been 15 years. I'd been in the band since I was 16. Steel Teeth did not sell well at all. And, when you're assigned to a major label, you hope you sell a little bit more than the previous record. And it's not like we weren't playing to tons of people. We did Roadside Attraction that year.
Right.
Can't think of what else.
Maybe
we
that's
did.
what burned you out, another Roadside Attraction.
Yeah, that was it. All those steaks, all that good food. It was just, it felt like I had been managing the band too for a bit of that, and not a great idea. Like, not a good idea at all.
You don't recommend that?
What's that?
You don't recommend
At that
managing
level, no, I
the
don't
band?
think so, because there was a lot of money involved in that record, the last record, and it was just it was a bit too much to deal with.
Okay, well, so you're done. That's 97. Then you got your contractual obligation. I have no idea, but you do have a greatest hits package, which is a great collection. There You Go, which came out in 2012, right?
Right, we actually put that together. Virgin EMI did not put that together, and then came out on Sonic Onion, just because there was nothing really floating around.
So off the top of this program, I played that cold open. Who is that? What is that?
That
You want me to play it again, or do you?
No, I know exactly where it's. Gord Downie in Chicago. They actually when Rob Taylor, who was the original bass player, quit, and John Bora joined. We sort of lost our management, our original bass player, and our record label all at the same time. It was like a crappy time, and I'm basically like sitting at home one day, and the phone rings, and this is when the phone used to ring, and people would talk to you. They're like, the Hip want to take you on tour in the U.S. And I was like, I have no idea why. We have nothing going for us right now, but let's do this. And it was again, talking about, people giving you a shot in the arm, or that really helped us. We played the tour was incredible. Some of the craziest shows I've ever been involved in my life. Trees in Dallas was, there was a pregnant woman laying on the stage. There was a guy in a wheelchair. up in the air. There was, as we looked out over the venue, there was like these little cyclones, and they were like actual little bar fights happening, and like it was just nuts. Like, and yeah.
Well, I can help you with the why. The Hip they were good people,
Great people, yeah.
and they respected the craftsmanship of your efforts and the great music you were making.
Right.
And same reason, Real Statics, for example, the Hip would take them around
Yes.
or whatever.
Yes.
It's a game recognizing game.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. But when you're, I was younger, so I always was like a little bit in awe of that. So,
well, now that and it was obvious to me, but now that the listenership knows this is Gord, I'm going to play that 20 seconds again. So we opened with it, but here we go.
Good goddamn Lord, we'd like to thank the good goddamn Lord, 100 good goddamn Lord, 100 Lord, 100 in Jesus, change our good goddamn Lord, 100. We'd like to thank the good goddamn Lord, 100 in Jesus, change our heart from Toronto, Ontario.
Man, okay, we lost a good one with Gord. Holy smokes! Good, we lost.
Still feel it.
You can take a moment. Did you see the documentary series made by Gord's brother?
Honestly, I haven't been able to sit down and watch it. Yeah.
It is. It's heavy and it's very good. So brace yourself. But we lost Gord far too soon. We lost Dave Bookman far too soon. It's nice that you're involved with the second annual tribute where the artists are going to be covering hip songs. It just seems like
That's a good combo.
It's a good combo. That's a good combo. I think Josie Dye is hosting that night, I believe, actually. So I just got this. I just said, holy smokes, how do I be a part of this? Some big names on that bill. Okay. In the wreckage. So tell me, like, what happened? Did you feel like enough time had gone by that it's like, hey, let's get the band back together. Let's make some new change of heart. Because we're not talking about it today because you've been over and I only have limited time and everything. But Blurtonia or Future now, like there's so many different projects you work on, and you've been producing other artists, of course. You do a lot of work, so you're always active.
I like music.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why change of heart again?
It actually started just very innocently. I had been thinking, wow, I wonder what it'd be like to write a song with Rob Taylor, who is the original Change of Heart guy.
Yeah.
Again. Just thinking, wow, it's been, I guess at that point it was like 25 years or 24 years or whatever. And I called Rob, and he's like, oh, I've sort of been having similar thoughts recently. At the very least, I was going to be like, hey, do you want to just help me work on some of my music? And I was like, well, why don't we just try, writing a song or two? And we had... in 3 weeks, we had like the whole record. There's one outtake that will never come to light because it's quite bad.
Well, I got it right here, Ian. You ready?
Yeah. But, people might say the record's bad to begin with. But, we just, it just happened really fast. And we had done a show when the compilation that you were talking about earlier came out.
There you go.
We did a show with every member of the band, and Rob and I were like, well, what if we take that concept and every member that had been through the band or guest or anything.
Wow.
And what if we take that concept and have every member? So there's like 3 drummers, 3 bass players, a horn section.
Was Glenn Milcham
cello.
part of this?
Glenn Milcham is definitely part of this.
Now, was Gil Moore hitting a gong?
No. No, we should have maybe asked, I don't know, Getty to play the maracas or something. I don't know.
Rick Emmett would do it.
Rick Emmett. Just keep with the Triumph. And it just ballooned into every member of the band. And that took quite a while, actually, to just sort of sort that all out. And
wow.
Yeah, it felt like the right time. And everyone was very positive about it, which was really great because, I can only speak for myself, but I wasn't in the best headspace at the end. And so it was nice to come back to it in a positive way.
I think 15 years is a good run for a band.
Yeah. Honestly, my favorite bands, over 3 records, 4 records, maybe. But all my favorite bands are very short-lived,
Right.
burn bright.
It's better to burn out than fade away. Is that what you
I don't know if I was going to say that, but yeah, I guess something along those lines, you know. And I'm that's not saying that, you know, one of my favorite bands is they're called Motorpsycho, and they're from Europe, and they have literally, I don't know, 30 records, and I like half of them. So
Yeah, and there are exceptions.
there's
right?
always an exception.
I mean, the Hip, for example.
Yeah.
They form in like the early to mid '80s and go until Gord got sick. So you know, and then you know, Blue Rodeo. Sure, they've had cast changes, but 3 founding members still, including Jim and Greg, and they've been going since the mid '80s or late '80s there. So yeah, so there are exceptions.
Oh yeah.
I hear the Rolling Stones still play.
And the Who. I'm pretty sure I saw their final tour. Whenever that was.
Early 80s.
Early
right?
80s.
Do you think they lied to us or what's going on?
Yeah, they
there?
lied to us.
Holy crow here.
Yeah. Well, and Slayer now too. It's like they're like, well, we're done, and then they're announcing shows.
Jeez, you can't get rid of these guys. I can. U2 has had the same lineup since the late 70s. The same foursome, no changes at all. That's pretty rare.
Well, the drummer didn't play the last shows.
Oh. Okay, so is he unwell?
I think his back. I'm not like the biggest U2 fan.
Okay.
It was ZZ Top were like, I mean, they put out the first single doesn't have the same lineup, but every record up until Dusty died. When was that? 3 years ago.
Yeah,
so like
recently.
69 to 3 years ago. I mean, that's insane.
And they inspired your beard.
Yes, partially.
Partially. Okay. I'm itching to get to some new music, and I'm going to play some from In the Wreckage. Just one more piece of love to Silver Wax, because Silver Wax makes pro-grade auto care and cleaning technology easy for everyone to use. They have kits for beginners, experts, or professionals, everything you need. So if you want a clean car, interior, exterior, man, they've got everything at Silver Wax, and I urge the listenership to support this show and to have a nice clean car by going to silverwax.ca. Use the promo code TorontoMike10. You save 10%. And remember, Silver Wax has been proudly Canadian since 1999, and that's not about to change. So thank you, Silver Wax, for helping to fuel the real talk so we can have Ian Blurton over here to talk for 60 to 90 minutes on change of heart. Just tip of the iceberg stuff here. You want to hear some new music? And then I'll
Sure.
be the judge if it's any good, okay? You ready? Okay, I'll be honest with you.
What you said about
Well done, Ian. 20 acres.
20 acres.
What's 20 acres? What is it about? Is this the size of your ranch? What's going on here?
The 20 acres of my heart.
Your heart's bigger than that.
Yeah, I didn't write it. Rob did.
Okay, so when you hear it in the headphones now, what are you thinking right now? You sitting there beaming with pride? You're like, it's my new baby? What's going on?
Well, actually, I was analyzing the mix, but I mean, for me, the way the drum beat that's right at the beginning of the song, it's when my dad passed, I was cleaning out his apartment, and so the apartment was really empty, and there was all this reflection in it, and I'm like, well, that sounds crazy, and so I set up these two huge boxes, and I just played the beat in this room, and so like I just think of clearing out my dad's place. Yeah,
I'm sorry you lost your dad.
Yeah, it happens. But yeah, there's like lots of little things like that on the record too. Like, there's a transit, the streetcar on King Street passes by in one song, and just little Toronto things. There's a very Toronto-centric record, actually.
Very cool. I just had a producer-singer named Hill Korkutis over here, and she was tasked with creating the official Toronto song for the upcoming World Cup, because we're hosting games here. And,
whoa, nice gig.
Yeah. And then she added those the chimes you hear when the subway opens.
That's what's on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like parallel thought.
Yeah.
Maybe she caught wind of what's going on here of Change of Heart.
Ripping us off. As usual, we're getting ripped off and we're not making the cash. So
well,
I see what's going on.
I'm here to get the real talk. Come on, Hill. Be better than that here. Hey, I'm diving into something else here. I can't believe it.
Rise like the stars and then deepen in the dark. Tears for the summertime, for the summertime. How like a dog they will set the night to cry.
Jackpot. So I'm just scratching off a lottery ticket over here.
Exactly.
Who exactly is in Change of Heart for In the Wreckage? Who's the personnel of Change of Heart for this album?
Every single Change of Heart member. Absolutely.
You did mention that, didn't you, Ian?
Yeah, every single one. And Michael White, who's the trumpet player who's played with us a bunch, brought in his brother this time, Perry. So that's the only real difference. It's basically like everyone who was on Smile, except for every drummer and every bass player. And
It's a big. I actually have the. I have the Smile personnel here is what I actually have. So for fun, I'm running it down here. Okay, so bass, vocals, Rob Taylor.
Yep.
Cello, vocals, Ann Bourne.
Yes.
Drums, some guy named Glenn Milcham.
Glenn Milcham, Ron Duffy, and Damon Richardson.
Yes.
On this record.
On this one, right?
Yeah. On Wreckage. Yeah.
And there's no gong on this new album.
No.
No
I
Gil.
feel like we really missed our...
See, timing's everything.
Yeah, timing is everything.
Ron how do you say his name?
Anisic.
Anis. Yes. Okay. Easy for you to say. He's doing guitar and some keyboards on Smile. Okay. He's good. Bernard Meza, FOTM Bernard Meza. I loved my chat with Bernard. Bernard, that chat meant a lot to me because he came in and was so open and honest about being diagnosed as ADHD in adulthood, and I just want to give much love to Bernard Meza. His keyboards, etc. Okay, and then Don Christensen,
our ex-manager. Yeah.
Okay, and then you got another. Well, okay, it says Gong produced by Bobsy. So there's
so somebody named Bobsy at Metalworks.
It's wild. I think it's wild. There's a doc in here somewhere. Okay,
I know who it was. It was Bob Wiseman.
Okay.
That's Bobsy.
Oh my God! Hold on.
Sorry.
Hold on. No, don't be sorry.
That's who it was. It was Bob Wiseman was working, and Don managed. Thank you. That was great. Don Christensen was managing Bob Wiseman as well as Change of Heart. Bob was producing a band at Metalworks. He was like, "Hey, Gil, hit the gong." That was it.
That's an unbelievable wrinkle to this story. Bob Wiseman, who I had an hour with down here.
Right.
Just the most interesting, artistic musician, like just fascinating. And of course, because I just had Glenn Milcham on, we did a bunch of Bob Wiseman talk because, he quits the band. He quits Blue Rodeo. He's unbelievable. So that's Bobsy. Produces.
Bobsy. I don't know why it doesn't say Bob Wiseman, actually.
And then, okay, so by the way, that was wonderful detail for you to recall here, that it's Bob Wiseman who's directing Gil Moore to play the gong on Smile.
Yes.
Jeez. Look at you. Okay. And then Mike Armstrong on percussion.
Yes.
And you got, okay. And
who sadly passed before we could make Wreckage. And so we pilfered his tracks, as they say in the biz.
That's I'm sorry to hear that. I didn't know that. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that. That's sad news. Ernie Toller on sax.
Incredible.
And you mentioned Michael White's brother. Michael White?
Michael White's on the new record, and his brother Perry, who's a sax player.
Okay, geez. And then you said there's John Bora on this new record?
Yep, John Bora, Rob Higgins, who is who replaced John Bora for Steel Teeth, the last record.
John Bora is like glue. Like he's sort of. A lot of these Queen Street bands and these cool Toronto bands have you could kind of learn about them through the life and times of John Bora. That's what I say. We need a doc on John. Okay. One last song here. Just like that.
Just like that. That's how you do it.
So am I right? Is that 28 years between albums?
Yeah, I think, either 28 or 27.
27 and a half. We'll cut the difference.
Let's call it 27 and a half.
That's pretty wild. I think that's wild.
I know, it's funny.
It's wild. It's like they took a 28-year hiatus or whatever. Now, Change of Heart is back. That's big news for all music fans. Great jam, man.
Man, you should pull those drumsticks out for some of those swishy Damon rolls.
Honestly, teach me. 28 years in the Wreckage is available now. So I told you I bought a ticket to see you at the Sound Garage on the Geary. I was at the Geary Street Art Crawl last summer, and Guh was performing.
Oh, amazing! Yeah.
And then I said I need a Guh episode of Toronto Mike. I got a bunch of there's a lot of them, but I got a bunch of the original members of Guh. At least 3 of them were in this basement for the definitive Guh episode.
Amazing.
Someone had to do it.
Yeah.
Might as well be me.
Was Blake?
Yeah, Blake.
Amazing.
Yeah. So shout out to Guh. Shout out to Change of Heart. So I'm going to see you on Friday, April 25th. I can't wait to see you at the Sound Garage. But what is the plan for live Change of Heart? Is there other plans?
No, not really.
Want me to help you plan something?
Yeah.
Do you want to play TMLX
Sure.
18 on June 26th, Change of Heart?
I wouldn't be opposed to that, actually.
You all eat for free. You all drink for free.
That sounds good. I like it.
Better than most gigs.
We, our ex, oh my God, I'm just going to say passed over and over again, but our ex-soundman, Al Miller, passed a little while ago, and there's a big show for him at the Phoenix on May 25th. So that's the only other thing that we're doing as of right now, but that's just a little short set, and that's like all the bands he worked with. So
yeah, I'm sorry about that. I mean, shout out to Ridley Funeral Home. I guess this is.
Oh my God. I was waiting for that. I'm like looking at the funeral sign here.
I guess this is the circle of life, right, Ian?
It is the circle of life, and it does happen. And Al was a wonderful guy, and he kept us rolling for years.
Darn it, he checked out just before the Sound Garage comeback specials here. You're like Elvis.
But he did do sound at the last Change of Heart show previous to this, so that was I'm really glad that happened.
Well, I'm glad that happened, and I'm glad you got to experience the basement, because you had the backyard experience last time. Now you're in the basement, but I feel like all these great things come in like trilogies. So at some point, I feel like we'll dive deep into the real Ian Blurton in your third appearance. So I'm going to start teasing that now. But thanks for coming by, man.
You should bring some of the animals from your backyard down here, though, maybe. Some of the birds.
I think some of them have snuck in anyways.
Oh, I'm sure they have.
You never know. You never know these old 100-year-old homes. There's always ways to get in. But
this house 100 years old?
Over 100, yeah.
Wow.
This house was born, I don't know if houses are born, but in 1916. So over 100 years ago.
That's incredible.
That's why they didn't know people would use basements. That's why 5'5" people hit their head in this damn basement.
Mm-hmm.
All right, my friend, don't hit your head on the way out.
I won't.
We got a photo to take. I got a lasagna to get you, but amazing. Ian Blurton. I'm just a big Blurton head, so
thank you so much, and see you on the bike trail.
I'll see you on the bike trail. That's right. I love it when I see Ian Blurton on the Martin Goodman Trail or whatever.
Love it.
And I can't wait to see you on Friday, April 25th at the Sound Garage.
Yes.
I can't wait.
And the 26th.
And the 26th, because you're going to put me on a list. No, I got to buy a ticket for the 26th. Okay.
Sold out. Sold out, buddy.
Good for you, man. By the way, have you ever played with Blair Packham? from
No,
the Chitters?
no, I have not. But mucho respect for songwriting abilities, and
He's the last of the Red Hot Fools, you know. He's my guest tomorrow. That's why.
is he really
He's
amazing?
dropping by tomorrow.
Amazing.
And that brings us to the end of our 1,668th show.
Amazing.
It's amazing, right? Okay.
Congratulations.
Thanks,
That's
man.
really incredible.
Thank you. Go to TorontoMike.com for all your Toronto Mike needs. This is the Friendly Giant theme. Rob Pruce recorded this Lowest of the Low song from Shakespeare My Butt and added these Easter eggs at the end. So this is the Pizza Nova jingle.
Yeah.
Because Alfie Zappacosta is an FOTM. And we just heard the Friendly Giant. You'll hear them in the background because I'm going to just quickly give some love. And this is his song of Gord Depp, Romantic Traffic.
Oh, yeah. My friend was in this video, actually.
That's an iconic Toronto video.
Oh, my God. Young Street.
There's even a Red
Subway.
Rocket. They're in a subway station.
Yep, I believe it's the Young Subway.
Amazing. Okay. And this is Don Pyle, Shadowy Man on a Shadowy Planet.
Oh, my God, yes.
Okay, I'm going to burn through to say thank you to Great Lakes Brewery. Thank you, Palma Pasta. Thank you, Moneris. Thank you, Silver Wax. Thank you, RecycleMyElectronics.ca. Building Toronto Skyline and Ridley Funeral Home. See you tomorrow at Blair Packham. Woo!